Hello and welcome to this video broadly in the area of critical thinking, but focusing specifically on the idea of argument and being able to identify argument in the work of others. This is a really key skill when we think about all of the academic reading that we have to do at university, being able to identify when an author or authors are putting forward an argument, being able to identify what the claim is they're making, and then of course what evidence they have to support that claim. What we do know is that an argument in an everyday sense is quite different to an argument in an academic context. In academic work, the presence of an argument doesn't necessarily indicate disagreement on a matter. When we think about an academic argument, we're thinking about something as simple as this. An academic argument is a claim or a conclusion that's been put forward and the justification for why it is we should accept, or if it's not strong enough, reject that claim. In its basic form, we're looking for a claim or a conclusion. We're looking for some supporting premises. A premise is essentially a statement within an argument that supports the overall claim. And then, of course, also supporting all of that, the evidence required to establish that the claim and the supporting premises should be accepted. And all of this is packaged through, I guess, a type of reasoning and logic, logical connectives, a way in which this is all put together to convince the reader that the claim is, in fact, one that we should accept. Let's have a look at an example. Really simple example, but I think a yummy example because I like chocolate. If chocolate produces endorphins, then eating it will make you happy because endorphins make you feel good. Now, in its simplest form, this is an argument. Here in bold, you essentially can see the claim or the conclusion, and that is that chocolate will make you happy. Why should we accept that claim? What are the supporting premises or the supporting evidence for it? Chocolate will make you happy because chocolate produces endorphins, and endorphins make you feel good. Because of those two reasons, eating chocolate will make you happy. So we have our claim, we have supporting premise and supporting evidence. We also have some language here that gives us that logical connection between all of these things. If chocolate produces endorphins, then eating it will make you happy because endorphins make you feel good. If, because, they're really simple terms you know. They're also terms or words that fall under this idea of the language of argument. So we've analysed this very, very yummy argument and we've determined that it is an argument. It may or may not be a strong one. I might just be looking for an excuse to eat some chocolate. But what we have done is analysed it. How do we analyse something? We break it down into its smaller parts or components to sort of see how it works as a whole. By doing that, by breaking down a passage of writing, a passage of work, we're able to see, is there a claim? Are there supporting premises? Is there supporting evidence? Do we have that logic that connects it all together? Once we've done that, once we've been able to identify if there is an argument being put forward, then we can set about determining how strong the argument is. Is it one we agree with? Is it one that we might want to use in our own work? So let's have a look at an example and determine whether we have an argument here. Normal Antarctic icebergs consist of snow compressed into glacial ice, which flows out into the sea to form ice shelves. Hundreds of feet below the surface, Antarctic seawater freezes to the bottom of some shelves. Where the seawater is biologically rich, the ice includes dissolved remains of plankton, which are green. If we're to stop, take the time to analyse this, to determine whether or not it's an argument. We're determining whether or not the author of this passage is putting forward a claim that they're then looking to support with appropriate evidence. Now, if we have a good close look at this, we can determine that it isn't an argument. All of the information here could be very interesting to you. It could be very relevant to you if you're studying in this field. It's all correct, but it isn't an argument. This is a descriptive piece of work. The author isn't trying to put forward any claim or defend any conclusion at all. It's simply descriptive. We may well use the information that we find in a passage like this, but we're certainly not using it as though this author is putting forward some sort of claim. Another argument here, we'll see whether or not after some analysis we agree if it is an argument. We can certainly agree immediately it might not be as yummy as our chocolate example. Insects provide a concentrated source of protein, and in many countries people have insufficient protein in their diets. So those who use insects as a food source are acting wisely. If we spend some time having a look at this one, analysing it, breaking it down into its component parts to see, do we have a claim? Do we have some supporting premises? Do we have some supporting evidence? Do we have that type of logical connection? And the answer is yes. Yes, this one is an argument. What is the claim that's been put forward here? The claim that has been put forward here is that people who eat insects as a food source are acting wisely. Why is that? Why is that something that we should accept? We should accept it because it turns out insects do provide a concentrated form of protein, and many people in many countries lack protein in their diet. Because of this, eating insects as a form of food protein is a good idea. So we can see here that we do have an argument. Again, maybe not as yummy as the one about the chocolate, but an argument nonetheless. We can also see that we have some of that logical connection there in terms of language. Just the simple term so, the simple word so, tells us that we do have a claim or a conclusion that's been put forward. We could change that word to therefore, because of this. Terms like that indicate to a reader that a claim or a conclusion is being put forward. So what is really crucial in your academic work is that you're able to identify argument when you see it. You're able to identify what the claim or conclusion is that the author is putting forward, and then how it is that they are supporting or justifying that claim through the evidence provided. Once we do know whether or not we have an argument, we're able to evaluate the argument, determine whether we think it is a strong argument. And to do that, we look at, okay, there is a claim. Is it stated clearly? Does it make sense? Yes, we've found some supporting evidence. How reliable is the evidence? How relevant is it to the claim that's been made? And is it sufficient? Is there enough of it to support the claim? Is there enough of it to convince you or persuade you of that claim or conclusion? That's often how we judge the strength of an argument. Is it logical? Is it convincing? Is it persuasive? And because of all of that, is it perhaps the best explanation that we have given what we know on a topic? I wish you the very best of luck as you navigate your way through the academic literature that you are looking at in your studies, and I wish you the best of luck as you identify the arguments that you find in all of that literature. You might want to have a look at the video that talks about constructing your own arguments. You know what an academic argument is. How is it that you are able to construct your own in your written work? Thank you.